Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. It's Patricia Haakonson, Independent Consultant and Regional Vice President with Arbonne. And this is a short video which I'm making for my Haakonson team and also for the Executive ZEC region. Diane ZEC and I trade YouTubes back and forth with our team. It's wonderful. I recently attended the Canadian RVP retreat in Banff in the Rockies. It was fabulous. It was a day and a half of networking with my colleagues. It was a day and a half of wonderful training, and it was so worthwhile. And I always come home really pumped and really on fire from those things. I particularly want to talk with you today about time management. We were very privileged at the retreat this year, and we had 3 extremely successful NVPs from Canada join us. Becky Young, Tiffany Hogard, and Krista Bernard were there to talk to us. And we had the opportunity to feed them questions on the first evening, and they had some time together overnight and came back to us with some of their responses on the second day of training. It was fantastic. They were all fantastic. They're all very accomplished women, and what's really interesting to me, and I hope will be interesting to you, is that all 3 of them built their nations with small children at home. That's quite the accomplishment. In fact, Krista Bernard tells us that when she started Arbonne, she was a drug rep in Vancouver, BC, and she worked from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, 5 days a week. And yet she still built a big region, and I think she left her drug job sometime after she built region and then went nation. So there's a lesson for all of us there, and the lesson is where there's a will, there's a way. And if you have great time management skills, you can do anything. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. Even those who have full-time jobs usually only work 8 hours, unlike Krista's 12. Then you have 8 hours of sleep. That still leaves 8 hours of discretionary time every day. Think about that. And in thinking about children, they all said that 20 minutes of really focused time where your phone is turned off and your computer is turned off is way more valuable to the children than 2 hours of time where your phone is up to your ear, you're on your computer or on your phone with emails and texts. I think that that's very true. So let me share with you what they have to say about time management. They said, first of all, lack of time management is the #1 reason that people go sideways in Arbonne, and I believe that. They stress that discipline is necessary. You can't really manage your time without discipline. That flexibility won't come without the discipline and organization. Organization is an absolute must if you want to be successful. And you need to set aside time where you can devote 100% of your focus to your Arbonne business. You have to be consistent, but you don't have to be constant. It's not 8 hours a day every day. They went through a calendar exercise that I would like to share with you because I thought it was just amazing. And this was actually Krista Bernard who started this, and the other NVPs had little bits and pieces to add here and there. Now Krista calls it the black, gray, and white. Black, gray, and white didn't look really good in terms of my trying to make a little calendar for you, so I've changed the colors a little bit. Basically, if you come over to this legend on the left-hand side, right-hand side of your screen, you will see that in my calendar, white edged with black equals no. That means no time for Arbonne in these time spaces. Green equals yes. That means I'm going to devote myself, or you're going to devote yourself 100% to Arbonne during those spaces, and yellow is a maybe. And what I have here is Monday to Sunday, and I have half-hour intervals from 7 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. So in this example, I've done an example of someone who works full-time. So from 8:30 in the morning till noon, can't do any Arbonne. From 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 5, can't do any Arbonne. Early in the morning is a maybe. If the kids are off to daycare, or if the kids are settled with the nanny, if you are on a train or on a bus or driving yourself and you can make a few phone calls, that's a maybe time. Noon hour is green. Krista Bernard tells us that noon hour every day was green for her. She was able to work her Arbonne business every noon hour 5 days a week. That can be phone calls, that can be one-on-ones, that can be meetings, that can be all sorts of fun things. Come to the early and later evening on a weekday and you have a maybe section. If you're making dinner, or if dinner was a crock pot and the kids are all settled and your husband is watching the news or reading the newspaper and things are quiet, you might have time for a few phone calls or a few emails. Then I have designated 2 evenings to go out from early evening till later. Those are your event evenings. And I've designated that after the kids are in bed, you can work your Arbonne. That's a green time. Let's look at our weekend. And again, this comes from Krista Bernard. I thought she was brilliant. She worked every Saturday on her Arbonne, virtually all day. So I've said from sort of 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 5. And she told her family that until I have been able to replace my income, I won't be with you on Saturdays. But Sunday was her day for family. And Sunday is noted here as a no Arbonne day. And I love that. And personally, I take off every Sunday. I try very hard not to book anything, not to take phone calls, and not to do email on Sundays. Sometimes it's hard, but I really try and make that my family day, my personal day. We all need a little time off. So you can do this exercise for yourself, looking at your schedule, and it's a great exercise to do with every new business builder who joins your team. And then you can clearly designate what time they have for their Arbonne business. So it allows you to work without feeling panicked, because you know that there are hours in the day that you've set aside to work your business plan. It also allows you to set realistic goals. You might say you want to be RVP in 4 months, but you only have an hour a day when you're able to devote it to Arbonne. You're not going to get there with an hour a day. So you need to review your goals with respect to the time that you have available. Becky Young built a huge executive nation with 2 small children at home. In fact, she went nation 8 days before her first baby boy was born. And Becky